Dear Mr. President, have you ever experienced any bias or any negative feelings between students and staff?
Of course. I mean, we are human beings, and one of the hardest things about being a human being is understanding and accepting difference. Because I think it's our natural tendency to be attracted to and come to birds of a feather. It's much easier for me. I know for me, I'm very comfortable being around colleagues at the college. I'm comfortable, on the weekends when I'm hanging out with my gay friends. I code shift and I hang out with my gay friends, and it's very different in those when you're code shifting. I think we often have to be present in the moment and understand our own privilege and our own bias, and that's always a challenge, I think, for human beings. I have witnessed bias, but I think what I've learned as I've gotten older, I've learned how to subtly call it out versus being caustic about it. It's not easy, but I have witnessed bias. I witness it pretty much every day. And what I hope that I learn from it is once I witness it, I hope that I'm able to check my own bias. Because I think inherently we all have bias. It's how we manifest it in our interactions with others. And it's a challenge. I think it's something we work on our entire lives. And I will tell you, as you get older, it gets easier to deal with, because it's much easier to realize at 45 that I'm not perfect than it was at 25.
Dear Mr. President, what are your views on religion?
As a reason to live a good life in case there is another one. So that kind of describes my belief system. I'm an Episcopalian, so everyone calls it Catholic light. I think of it as I think of it as all the sin and half the guilt, which makes me feel good. It's being a gay person, you have to be very careful about which faith system you're going to buy into, because there are some that exist to make you feel bad about who you are. And by studying comparative religions, I was able to realize that no faith gets to make me feel bad about who I am as a human being. And so I settled on being an Episcopalian. It feels good to me. It fits my belief system. It also allows me to embrace other religions in a way that I think is helpful and keeps, I don't think that someone who studies and practices Islam is necessarily going to hell, or someone who's a Buddhist is going to hell. That's just not the way I believe, and the Episcopal Church allows me to live that faith.
Dear Mr. President, what do you think about the arts program?
Well, I went to a liberal arts college, and the arts were a central part of the core curriculum in the college. And growing up in Arkansas, you didn't necessarily have an opportunity to appreciate the arts. But then when I got to college, it was part of the curriculum, and I learned about theater and music, and it kind of opened the world up to me. I think it does that for a lot of people. One of the reasons I most wanted to be president at South Puget Sound Community College was because we had the Center for the Arts. It's just a phenomenal asset for a community college to have a center like that. Then I got here and I met the faculty, I met the students who were engaging in the arts. And while there's a big movement across our country around STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, I think we really should work on that and make it STEAM. Because I think engineering and math are critically important, but I think the arts are what make us human. And sometimes experiencing a great piece of music, experiencing a great film, seeing theater live on stage, it's really important we do that as human beings. It brings us together. but it also separates us from all the other things that exist in the world. And I think it is what makes us human. It's called the humanities. I think it's critically important that we do the arts, we do them well, and most important that we support them and bring them into our lives in a way that helps us connect with other people. I thank you all for doing this. You know, I don't get out there a lot. I don't have an opportunity to sit down and chat with students a lot. I do some over in the sub, but I think I love the fact that you all gathered questions from students. I appreciate your efforts in doing this 3 or 4 times throughout the quarter. It's been a real pleasure.
We appreciate your time and stuff and answering these questions. Because some of these questions I've actually had myself, so it's nice to have them answered as well. And to give us your time is amazing.
Yeah, great. And as far as students are concerned, I think my message would be young. Enjoy this time in your life. It is some of the most romanticized time I think about in my life is when I was in college. So enjoy it. Let it help shape who you become. And I will tell you, 90% of what you experience in college I call post-hypnotic suggestion. While it may not seem important or relevant now in your life, 20 years from now you'll look back on certain moments throughout your education and go, ah,